My name is Cristi Puiu. I'm coming from Romania. I'm in München for 48 hours now, just for 24 hours, less than. Tomorrow morning I'm going to go to Paris to do the press for the release of my film in France on the 3rd of August. Sierra Nevada, which you have it here in one of the competitions, and which will have the screening today at 8:30 in a cinema in the downtown, I think. What else? I'm 49. I have 3 daughters. This is the most important thing. Attenzione.
Can you tell us how you got the idea for this movie?
Well, this is the usual question people are asking. I think it's an important question, but it's a question that you cannot answer in briefly, because an idea doesn't come like this, like like the rain. I've been outside for 2 hours. I had a beer, and then on the way home, start to rain, and I'm coming back home with this water on my hair, and this is the ideas that are coming to you like the rain. It doesn't work like this. So, but the question is legitimate anyway. I don't know if it's a good question. I would say it's a good question. It's an important question, but there are several triggers of what we might call the idea of a film, and the ramifications of a route. There is, of course, the commemoration of the death of my father that took place in 2007. And years later, I thought to myself, I have to do something with this because it was a very strange experience. This is one thing, and the other thing is the fact that at a certain point in your life, you realize that the stories that you rely on are stories that you are building up yourself. History does not exist. It is just a long series of stories, and this is another trigger. The idea of making a Kammerspiele, huis clos, this was another trigger. I wanted to do this. Another trigger was the fact, and the very concrete one, was the fact that Miro called me and asked me if I have a script. Mirsad Purivatra, who's the director of Sarajevo Film Festival, he called me in 2014 and said, listen, I would like to produce your next film. 2012, of course. The year of the end of the world. 2012. And I said, no, I don't have a script, but I can write one. And that's what I did. And of course some other triggers, but I need time to think about. It's a long answer to a very short question. Yeah, fortunately.
We just wanted to ask what is really special and about Romanian movies.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about Romanian movies. From inside, I see things differently, so it's very hard for me to say something with a meaning about this. I'm happy that the Romanian films are being received like this, but otherwise, I'm quite critical regarding the Romanian cinema, so starting with my films. So everybody are talking about me and the death of Mr. Lazarescu, and they appear to be stuck on this film. And I'm going to do it. I wanted to do it. I need some time, and I'm going to do it to make the projection, the screening of this film, and to explain to the audience why it is a bad film. Because there is this tendency of putting people on the pedestals, and I think this is very dangerous. And this is what is happening with the Romanian so-called new wave. It's not no wave. It's nothing. It's just a bunch of directors who are making films, and some of these films are being received very warmly by the Western world through the film festivals, and we tend to think that these films are having some kind of content, solid content, telling us something, which in part is true, but I think it's somehow overrated. I saw some films, not just Romanian films, and I am being attached to lots of films that I saw lately, and are films that didn't circulate much, and I don't understand why. So there is a sort of a phenomenon of regarding this, the way the artistic objects are circulating in this world. So you have to pay attention to this extravaganza, which is a film festival. We have to pay attention to everything regarding this evaluation that we are making, and I think we need time. And in 5 years, 10 years, we would say what is, in fact, what was this so-called Romanian new wave. I don't think that Romania is going to turn into some kind of Hollywood, Bollywood, or Rollywood, I don't know, because there's no money, and according to some predictions, like every wave, this wave is going to fade out. This is the way the waves are working, But it is a good moment for the Romanian cinema, and I don't think the Romanians are special. I think there is a part of a good reception coming from the Western world, and you are living in this Western world, and you are getting in touch with films through the filters that they installed, the festivals. So this is a good film, this is a Palme d'Or, this is a Golden Bear, this is a Golden Unicorn, or I don't know, Spider, or Tomato, or I don't know, what have you. Lots of prizes in this world of cinema. And then you are paying more attention to those films that are getting prizes, and less to those films that are not getting prizes. So it's a serious problem here, because I saw lots of films that didn't get prizes, which are important to me, and were discoveries for me. And it's very hard to say something about a film right now here. Of course, we are talking about Romanian new wave, so-called new wave, that started accordingly to some in 2005 with the death of Mr. Lazarescu, this film that I made, or according to some others in 2001 with my first film, Stuff and Dough. I think it is just an administrative matter. You need to put some labels in order to install these objects in a drawer, somewhere, in order to get to very easily. So this is a Romanian wave, this is a Czech wave, this is an Argentinian wave, and a German new wave, and so on. But otherwise, no. I think there is it was just a gap in the European history of film, and this gap now is being come si chiama, umpluto,
Field.
Grazie. So, yes, I don't think the Armenians are special. I think that it was just an obligation to fill this gap, and we did it, and now we can go to sleep. I mean, we did it with gymnastics in the 70s to 80s. Nadia Comaneci, the queen of gymnastics, which is true, was a very good performer. And now it is cinema. I mean, in 20 years, 40 years, maybe, méfiez-vous, will be the cars, and they are going to build up the new BMW in Romania, and you are going to lose jobs here. No, I think it is the surprise of the history somehow. I mean, lots of things like this I'm taking them as surprises, good surprises and bad surprises. There is this tendency of the human brain to predict or to put a diagnosis on something, and you say the new wave, and you start making predictions. It will not last 10 years, and then it's going to be dead. We're going to have another wave, or I don't know. I tend to think the same. It's very hard for me to imagine Romania as becoming the new Bollywood. This is very hard. There's no money for cinema, and anyway, we don't know what cinema is. In the last 100 years, it changed from the silent to till today, and now we are going to make films for YouTube, for the internet, and we don't know what will happen next.
Really know why you started with movie business?
Because I started with painting. And I will get back to it right now, this year. But no, I was studying painting in Geneva, and then in the same school you could study cinema as well. And I switched on cinema in the second year. And then by curiosity, I wanted to see how is it to make films. Then I discovered, I thought cinema is vulgar. I thought it's for the masses, and I'm still thinking that in part I am right, because it is a very serious, big amount of propaganda films that are being made on this planet, and it's extremely dangerous. And well, when I made this choice, when I chose to study cinema, because I had to somehow. I start doing it little by little. I mean, entering somehow in contact with filmmakers through their films. And it was a period, this first 2 years, were days where I used to watch like 6 films per day. I watched a lot of films. And yes, at a certain point I discovered the director that I thought to myself, this is my master. And it was John Cassavetes. And for me, cinema starts with him, and then after you have all these masters of documentaries, more than anyone else. But it's Cassavetes, Depardieu, and there was these old masters like Bresson and Ozu, and Buñuel and Hitchcock. You cannot escape this gang. Godard. Even the French got the Strobé. Now lots of directors, and but otherwise there are films that made a very strong impression on myself, and somehow made out of me what I am now, today, here. You have The Night of the Hunter of Charles Lawton, La Maman et la Putain, Jeanne Eustache, Diary, David Perloff, Wanda, Barbara Loden. There are films like this that, and of course Wang Bing at the west of the rail tracks. So it's there, and this is just a short list. At one point, Sight and Sound, you know, this magazine, they asked several directors to make their top 10 films list, and I said okay, and I start writing down, and I called them. I said no, I cannot make it because I have 190, I don't know what, and I cannot stop. I still have films to add. I don't really believe in this top tens, but yes, there are films that made a very huge impression on me, and I think these films somehow transform me in what I am today. Or these 24 portraits of women, Alain Cavalier, you know this film? Short films, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes every one. 24 portraits des femmes. And no, there are lots of films, but just to name a master, I mean a director to whom I grew up, I mean, somehow, is Cassavetes. And there is a very good book on Cassavetes, Cassavetes on Cassavetes by Ray Carney. It's a very good lecture.
How much is like your own life reflected in your movies?
You cannot escape this. It is not. It is your life somehow, but it is not. It is the story that you are inventing about the world, and of course the elements these stories are being made are coming from your own memory, and the memory is this hardware that is recording events and stories that are being related to you personal experiences and stories that you are taking from left and right, hearing and you are reading about, and all these elements. I mean, it's a very, 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 very huge amount of information that you are putting together then after, and you make a film out of it. And the fact is that you cannot escape your head, and don't believe anyone that is stating the contrary. All the films is you, all the films that you are making is you, and even the films that you are watching is you. You cannot escape this. It's very hard to it is not impossible. I am quite optimistic about this, but I think it's very, very difficult, and there are just a few that are getting to the point of to free themselves of this pressure of your own memory. Yes, everything we do, it is made. What I'm doing here, I'm talking about these things, is talking from inside my head, the questions you are putting on the table are coming from inside your head. And I tend to think that I understand your questions, and I'm giving back, I'm responding by answering the questions that I'm translating using my own dictionary. Maybe you are happy with my answers, maybe not, maybe just in parts, maybe there are some other questions that you would like to add, and so on. There is an infinite dialogue you can imagine out of this. But the fact is that you cannot escape your view. Of course, you can fake it, but it is not about you anymore then. It is just recording some kind of a gesture, and you are going to repeat it because you can protect yourself by the aggression of the others, by the violence that is surrounding you. So you choose then to become little by little a conformist, and you say what you have to say in this and that. But when you are talking about cinema and art, this is the danger to become a conformist. In art is the territory of freedom, of liberty, of expression, and thinking, the liberty of thinking. You have to think all the time, and you have to feel to get in resonance with the world. It's a very active field. If you choose to please the others, you are going to become a conformist. So you better kill yourself. But if you stay in this place, you have to tell the truth, and this is a very hard thing to do. And maybe you will die and you will not get to the point of telling the truth, or maybe you are going to get prizes for not telling the truth and so on, or for telling the truth, but it's too much. It's very complicated, but you cannot escape your memory. This is a fact. There is something. I think there is something that it keeps us together. There is a sort of invisible net, and you can get some signs of this solidarity. I would call it. And there is the gesture. There is some words here and there. The way we are looking one to another, and these are things that are very important for me to have them inside the film. People are having this tendency of reducing the film, the story that it tells, but the film is not the story. Or like an American was saying, I read this in a magazine long ago. He said the story does not belong to the cinema. Cinema has been hijacked by the story. And this is true. Cinema is much more than the story that you have inside the film. And all these little things that keeps us tied together, this invisible solidarity, I think is very important. And to have it inside the film, to get to the point of building up this, I mean, the reflection of this reality, which is this net, invisible net, is this is very hard to do. I mean, to have characters in the frame, and they are not saying much, or they are saying things, but you feel that there is an invisible net that ties them together, bind them. And this cannot be explained. This cannot be taught, learned. It is like an illumination that you can have. You know, when you enter in resonance with the world, and because there are lots of mysterious things that are happening. Not the mystery of pyramids like this dimension, but you don't know why you can get in touch so easily with this person and not with that person. And I don't have answers to this, but I told the journalist before you, There are two short films, very, very short films, YouTube films. One is, you can find it on YouTube. One is 4 minutes or something with a guy called Heinz von Förster. And there is another one with Alfred Korzybski. So you have it on the YouTube. Very short. And it's really great. And there is a film, if you want to make cinema, there is a film, a documentary made by a German guy called Jan Schmidt-Gar. It's a very honest and serious documentary on Sergiu Celibidache. You know this chef d'orchestre, conductor, that used to conduct the Philharmonic of Munich, the Romanian origins. But it's a very important film. It's a documentary of 1 hour and a half. It's called, there is a formula used by Celibidache himself. The title of the film is "You don't do anything, you let it evolve." And it's a very important film for those people, those of you who want to become directors. Because it applies not just to the conductors, it applies to film directors as well. Se mettre à l'écoute, to listen to what is, not to get in resonance somehow with the world, and then try to be, to testify, to tell the story. I'm lecturing.